Parents of children with autism know there are few resources they can rely on. Well, Paul Soretti made headlines 2 years ago when he challenged provincial funding cuts to autistic children. As Maria Hayes reports, now he's creating hope for families by creating a therapeutic option.
Although I knew something was wrong, and we kind of thought probably autism, it hit pretty hard. It was like a kick in the head.
Paul Soretti's twin daughters were 2 when they were diagnosed with autism.
We're told that they need this early intervention because the earlier they get it, the better chance they have to develop to their full potential. But then they tell you, well, you have to go on this wait list for 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Their wait was 1.5 years. A single father on disability, Paul relied on provincial funding for Delaney and Mackenzie's therapy. The home-based treatment was conducted by the Behavior Institute.
They were both nonverbal when they started, very aggressive. You couldn't even get them to sit in a chair.
The sessions went 6 days a week, totaling 36 hours, at a cost of $60,000 per child. But the improvements were significant. Both girls began developing language.
We taught them a gamut of life skills, from bathing, doing their hair, brushing their teeth, washing their hands, those kinds of things. Some basic pre-academics, how to recognize their name, how to count.
Provincial behavior analysts track their progress, assessing the children every 6 months.
They created this system of benchmarks, it's called, and it's criteria of whether your child can stay in the system or not. And if you do too well, out you go. If you don't do well enough, out you go.
Therapy funding for Delaney was pulled by the province 1 year ago. Mackenzie's continued until recently.
They come in and do an assessment for, 45 minutes, and they totally ignore what the provider says and the therapists say, and they say, oh, they're not progressing. Out they go.
Paul appealed the decision and lost. Instead of continuing the fight, he's put his energy into finding therapy for his children and others.
And tomorrow, Maria will look at the steps Paul's taken to bring therapy back into his home for both of his daughters and how he hopes to expand it for other families. Well, pet owners looking for the 2 in your health. Maria Hayes looks at how a local father gets his twins the autism therapy they need.
Are you ready? Yeah.
This
All right, welcome back. Time for some health news right now. And Maria Hayes last night introduced us to a man with a very compelling story about getting autism treatment for his children. And you return now with part 2. Looking forward to this, Maria.
All right. Thanks very much, Nick. Well, we did introduce you to Hamilton father Paul Soretti. He took on the province after it cut funding for critical therapy needed by his twin daughters. Tonight, we'll take a look at the steps he's taken to ensure they reach their full potential.
Twins Delaney and Mackenzie Soretti share more than just a birthday. Both girls have been diagnosed with autism.
You're lost. You don't know what to do. You don't know who to go to. And then finding out that there's very little resources, it's scary.
After years of government-subsidized therapy through the Behavior Institute, the province determined Delaney wasn't progressing. Funding for her therapy was cut. Paul spent 3 years fighting the decision, only to lose. Weeks ago, the family suffered another blow.
Now they've come in and did a assessment on Mackenzie, and apparently now she's not progressing all of a sudden, so she's out.
Provincial experts saw no advancement, but Paul sees potential.
They're both very smart. I think they both have photographic memories because they never forget anything. And they have this inside of them, and it's our job to get it out. It's like they're trapped.
A single father on disability, Paul couldn't pay the annual $60,000 therapy fee for each child. So he took the expertise of the Behavior Institute and paired it with psychology students from McMaster, who volunteered for training.
And before I knew it, they were coming in like crazy. It was I think we had 33 or 34 volunteers show up, which just blew me away. I knew it was going to work from there.
McMaster student Rachel Hardy is helping establish the volunteer organization.
But it's a great opportunity for students to come and do this, to get experience in the field that they might want to work with.
The Behavior Institute training is tailored to meet the specific needs of both Delaney and Mackenzie.
We're just giving them a basic level training in applied behavior analysis, the basic principles, the things that they're going to need to work with that child effectively. That's what we're giving them.
That training, between $6,000 and $7,000, is the only cost. And while the therapy isn't as intense or extensive as it once was, Paul is thrilled to see his daughters improve their skills. In an effort to share this opportunity, he's established the Autism Assistance Program.
We're looking at trying to get enough funding to help as many low-income families as we can who are either on the wait list for this therapy or have been prematurely dismissed from their therapy.
Paul Soretti's organization is now in the process of applying for nonprofit status. If you'd like to learn more about the Autism Assistance Program or think you can help, you can contact Paul by email. Nick?
All right, good for him. What an incredible father he is there. Thanks, Maria.